Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2017 in our European Journeyman series. We are currently the manager of England. Having qualified for the World Cup, you can see our fixture list here that we've got to take on Uzbekistan, Mexico and the United States before we kick off our World Cup campaign. The group stage has been drawn. We've been pulled into groups with Belgium, Paraguay and Jamaica, so we should be comfortably getting through that. Belgium will be difficult, but the other two should be reasonably easy to beat. But before we get onto that, there is a huge piece of news. It's related to the must respond notification in the top right of the screen. Now I know that when I took the England job, maybe not everybody was happy with that. I know everybody almost unanimously wanted me to go to Germany rather than to England. So something has happened completely unprovoked by me, which might make you all a little bit happier. And that is, if we go to the inbox, that I've been offered a job by Bayer Leverkusen. Even though I'm still England manager, they do not care if I give up the job as England manager or not. They want me to take over Leverkusen. They're currently sitting in about 8th place in the league. We are in the 9th of Feb. The January transfer window's gone. I have to make do with the team that they have. Actually, in the Bundesliga now, I think they might be up to 5th from the looks of that. They're just 3 points off the Champions League, so they're a great team to be able to take over. Dortmund was my favoured choice, but Leverkusen have a lot of history as well, obviously losing out on the Champions League in 2003, but there would be a huge opportunity to take over, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make everybody happy by taking a job in Germany. Now, I am going to keep the England job, and the way that I'm going to structure this is that I'm not going to show you the 3 friendlies that we've got lined up. I'm just going to go through those games myself. They won't be recorded. We'll carry on as if we are just the Leverkusen manager for now, so you won't see pretty much anything about the England campaign until the end of this season. Now, obviously at the end of the Bayer Leverkusen season, it will be time for the World Cup. We'll then do the World Cup separately, unrelated to what's going on at Bayer Leverkusen, or Bayer Leverkusen rather. And then at the end of the World Cup, win or lose, I will resign as England manager and I will be the Bayer Leverkusen manager full time. So because I can't do any transfers at the moment, it's not a huge thing taking over Bayer Leverkusen. We're just managing the team through to the end of the season, really. And then at the end of the season, I'll try and win the World Cup with England, and then we will crack on with a full season as the Bayer Leverkusen manager. And hopefully we can win the Bundesliga and crown out our sort of campaign up to now. So I am going to negotiate this contract now. Hopefully we can get a bit more than 21 grand a week. I'm getting paid about 87 by England, so this is a bit ridiculous. We're going to get bogged down in specifics here, but I think 26 grand. There we go. They've accepted that 3-year contract. I am now the joint manager of England and Bayer Leverkusen, unless the FA tell me that I have to resign. Apparently some players unhappy, quite a few players unhappy. Bayer Leverkusen captain already we have to pick. I'm going to keep things as they are, they look fine to me. But if we have a look at the Bayer Leverkusen squad, I don't like that it's on that. There we go, the nice black and red screen. It's not a bad screen. Obviously, I don't know what my assistant manager is like just at the moment, but I'll probably bring a new one in. But you can see there's quite a few high potential players, as you do normally get in Germany. There's a few decent ones in here as well. Benjamin Heinrichs is very good. Stefan Traub looks fantastic. He's actually a player that I've tried to sign a lot of times at Napoli and at Monaco and not been able to bring him in. Few good players down this end, some decent 3.5-star players as well. They've got Jimmy Pia as well, our former player. He might be quite interesting, currently playing up front. Sold him from Napoli for £21.5 million, and yeah, he's not been doing too brilliantly for them. Hopefully we can get a bit more out of him. Leroy Sané's still here, Munir's here as well, our former player from the days at Valencia, I think. Other players in there, Bernd Leno's still there, Geis is still there. It's a very big squad, so we're going to have a lot of room to trim that down. The board, currently no transfer budget or wage budget, but obviously we don't have any time to make transfers, so we'll just give that to the wage budget. Staff, let's see what the staffing situation is. It is dire. The scouting, is fine, but the coaching is absolutely terrible. So I'm going to have to fix that as well. If we look at the schedule, our current form, It's alright actually. I'm surprised the manager got sacked. I mean, it's this rough patch and this one that probably cost him his job, but the last 2 games beat Schalke and Hoffenheim, and Greuther Fürth is next. By the way, I have no experience of German, so expect me to butcher a lot of names. If there's any native German speakers out there that can explain phonetically if I keep saying the name of a player wrong, then that would be really helpful. So we've got Greuther Fürth, then we'll take on Braga in the Europa League, so there's a chance of silverware there. We're already out of the DFB Pokal, but we'll then take on Köln as well. I think today, because I'm going to have a lot of work to do with scouting and various other things, and just setting up the England campaign to just carry on without me, we will just play the game against Greuther Fürth, I think is how you pronounce that. I honestly have no idea. And then next episode we'll have games against Braga, Köln, Braga, and then the big one against Bayern Munich. As things stand, 12 points off Bayern. We're not going to catch them, I wouldn't imagine. Past winners of the Bundesliga will be quite interesting. I imagine it's a big streak of Bayern. But Hamburg, Dortmund and Leverkusen have all won the title as well. So it's maybe not as dominant as you might expect from Bayern Munich. And I think we can really build up. At the moment, just the 3 Champions League places. But I imagine they will quite soon take over Ligue 1 and move back up. The Serie A currently up in 2nd, which again I imagine that will fall down relatively soon. So hopefully we can do a bit of good work at the club. I need to set up the tactic, the staffing, the coaching, the training. Everything needs to be set up, and I just need to get used to my players as well. So I will see you ahead of the next game, which is in 5 days time against Greuther Fürth. Well, here we are at the start of our first match in the Bundesliga against Greuther Fürth. If we have a look at the competitions page, you can see that at the moment 3 points off the top 3, which is where we need to be finishing. It's going to be quite tough. Dortmund are going to be difficult to overturn, as will Hamburg. But Greuther Fürth really struggling down there in the relegation zone at the moment. So we've got every chance as things stand. Now, just a few changes. If we have a look at the staffing screen, you can see that I have got a new assistant manager, and I sacked the old one. I brought in Marco Landucci, who was the assistant of Fiorentina before. I think he can do quite well. Not the best man of management or adaptability, but ultimately I want good player ability and potential. Those are the main facets for me, and he's got good mental skills as well. So hopefully that will do us good and give me a true judgment of how good our players are as we progress through the season. That's especially important with a squad this big. I mean, it's just huge. It needs to be sorted out, but I need to get into a few games before I kick a few players in or out of the team. I want to see how everybody gets on and if they can perform well. So the team that I'm going to put out for this match is going to have Franco Castro up front. He looks like a reasonable player. He can certainly play as a complete forward. 25-year-old Uruguayan, 17 finishing, good stats across the board. I think he could be a decent striker for the future. He's not had the best record. I mean, he had this one season where he's phenomenal. He's had a couple of seasons where he's been phenomenal, actually. So if we can return him to that glory, we will certainly have him on top of the game. I'm not sure why he didn't play during that season. Maybe he was out with a long-term injury. Munir, our former player, we're familiar with him. He'll be a good inside forward, I feel, because he's got 16 finishing and 17 first touch. He's 30 years old, though, so getting on a little bit. 28-year-old Leon Bailey can play on either flank. Great as a dribbler and first touch. Not that great at shooting or finishing, rather. So I'm going to drop him to a support role with Munir as the attacking inside forward. Geiss, now 32 years old, probably won't be here next season unless he really puts in a good shift. Vasilev looks alright as well, 25-year-old Bulgarian, probably also not going to be here next season though. Jensch, someone that's quite good. We've got a couple of very good defensive midfielders in the team, so Jensch should be pretty good. Douglas Santos is the left back, 31 years old, starting to get on a bit as well, but still 3 stars. I think we can get some good performance out of him. Traub, we know how good he is. He is probably going to be the big player for us in our time at the club. Lucas Rukas, great name to say. He looks like a decent Mancini-esque centre-back. He'll do a job at 23-year-old. And Benjamin Henrichs, very good at full-back. I'm expecting a lot from him, especially in terms of assists this season. And Bernd Leno in goal, 33 years old, still able to do a job in goal, although we might want to think about a long-term replacement. Patrick Prohl, currently in goal for backup goalkeeper, not that great, so Leno is the only real option. Plenty of players on the bench. Leroy Sané getting on a little bit now, but still got plenty to offer on the wings, certainly as an inside forward, so we can expect to see him appear quite a bit, and Pierre also will probably get a bit of game time with a 17 finishing and 17 first touch. So yeah, there's quite a lot of good players in this team, but it's just too big a squad at the minute. Already we've had a lot of players come to me and say they've not had enough playing time, so I've told them to give it a bit of time. We'll see how things go, but hopefully we can get going with a win in this game and hit the ground running. Corner from Geisch, put in towards Traub, headed on to Douglas Santos, but easily saved by Haas. Henriks with the throw-in. Here he is again, inside to Geiss. Now Bailey finds Castro. Ball back to Henriks. Vasilov, Geiss. Into Castro. Ball just almost given away there, but Vasilev picks it up. Munir back across to Geiss, who on the volley there. That was spectacular. Has hit the crossbar so close to a stunning opening goal. Corner from Wittek. In towards the near post, and it's gone in. It's Ajeti who's forced the ball over the line. We're 1-0 down. They've come back into the game since Geisch hit the crossbar, and we're just not looking good enough. Geisch sends the ball back to Rukas. There's Geiss again. Munir inside to Castro. Ball runs to Vasilev, but saved by Haas again. Daninger puts the ball forward to Menzel. There's Ajeti. Ball given away. Jench can puts it forward. And there's a foul from Bektic. He's already on a yellow card. We could be playing 10 men in the second half. There's the red card. We are facing now 10 men, which gives us a huge chance to try and get back into this game. Traub's going to take the resulting free kick. He finds Munir, who's tackled by Scholl. A bit too easily there. Munir might be coming off for Leroy Sané soon. Denninger, back to Bukhari. Scholl. Little keep ball at the moment. Saibar puts it forward to Denninger. Ball over the top, should be easily cut out by Rukas. There's Leno, out to Traub. Forward to Geiss. Ball inside to Vasilev with a bit of room. Geiss onto Munir, inside to Castro. Players need to get forward a bit here. Castro doing it on his own, goes for goal and puts it over the top. Vasilev puts the ball forward to Pierre, who's come on at half-time, as has Sané. Not at half-time, a little bit after half-time, but Sané with a cross, puts it into Pierre, and he scored at the near post. Pierre, our former player, is saving our bacon here, pulling us level, and we've got 25 minutes to find a winner. Geiss with the corner, in towards Traub, headed out. Although there's a foul in there from Scholl, we've got a penalty. The game just froze a bit, but we've got a chance now from the spot. Who's taken the penalty? I haven't even had time to sort out penalty takers. But the man on this one is going to be Geiss, and he steps up and finds the bottom corner. We've got the lead now with about 20 minutes left to go. We're going to go defensive. The main thing for me today is getting 3 points and picking up the morale of the players. That is all that matters at the moment, and I think against 10 men we should be able to shut up shop. I am going to take Geiss off despite the penalty. Let's give Nick Grant a game in midfield. I'll be honest, I've not even looked at Nick Grant. I don't know how good he is, but he's on the bench, so we're going to give him a go. 5 minutes left to see out. Just 2 minutes of added time now. I think we're going to get the 3 points today. Henriks puts in. 5 seconds left. Surely we're getting the points and a win in our first match. There it is, the full-time whistle. We've come from behind. A red card helped, but we've managed to get the comeback and the victory. Not bad for a first game. That will help morale in a huge, huge way. And it also means that we still stay in 5th place, up on 38 points. We're just 1 point behind Cologne. Well, that is actually going to be it for this episode. It's been an interesting start. I've still got some admin stuff to do at the club, but next time we'll be taking on Braga. It's just 5 days away, so the game's coming thick and fast already. And then we need to take on Cologne, Braga again, and Bayern Munich. So some huge games to come for us. But I hope you guys are excited for our time in Germany. I know it's what a lot of you did want, although most of you seem to indicate you would have preferred Dortmund. That job wasn't available at the time. Leverkusen approached me and they were happy for me to stay as England manager. So I think this is the best of all worlds. If you agree, do drop a like on the video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see how we get on in the Bundesliga. But until next time, see ya.